little bit different. This time I have already modded the blaster, so I'm going to do the mod in reverse to show you how to take apart the NERF Rival Roundhouse and show you what spring I put inside of it to get the performance that I did. But first, we got to test it on the chronograph. Should be noted, jury's still out on this one, but it's possible this chronograph is not working correct for me. It may be hitting a little bit soft, so keep that in mind as we test this. But 104, 101, this is actually hitting about 20 FPS lighter than it was when I first modded it. 109, 107, 112, 112 again, and 110. That is about, I'd say 15 FPS lighter than it was before. But the performance is still pretty good. I guess it's not that much better. Maybe there's something wrong with the seal, but I did put the Pro RX spring in here, which in my takedown, that was hitting 160 FPS, so I'm a little confused. But let's get down to the whole disassembly of this blaster, and it's actually surprisingly easy. You don't have to touch basically anything at the front of this blaster. You can take this entire blaster apart through just the back, although there is quite a few different pieces. So slide and kind of pop out like that. You're going to get this tray and this little piece right here. Now we got to get the screw that's inside of the safety here. It's a much smaller screw than the rest of the blaster, so and then finally the rest of the screws, including the two screws up here. That piece comes right off. Here's the captive black piece. And these are the internals. So, this is the spring that was originally inside the blaster. And if I lift this out of its tray here, because there's a lot of pre-compression, I'm going to remove that. That is a Pro RX spring from Foam Freaks. And this is the catch system. It is not a Chronos. I kind of figured it was, but it's a relatively easy little system. The catch sits in here much like so. There is, I think, this piece, the little orange piece that I took out with the slide, I think this is just a priming indicator, but it might have something to do with the catch. I'm not entirely certain. But this whole thing fits together and then goes inside that little slot right there. The trigger is kind of weird. It uses a plastic catch, like, trigger spring thing, reset. Not exactly great. And the plunger is bizarre. I have never seen a plunger quite like this one. It's not a plunger rod, but it's like a plunger slide. I have no clue. There's quite a bit of dead space on it. The seal seems perfectly fine, although I haven't taken the entire plunger out before. That's just a straight shot down in there, too. And that's probably why this thing doesn't hit as hard. That's a lot of dead space. But let's see if we can get... if I have to have that. Is that smaller or the same size? Okay, no. That's literally just the AR system, which I don't think... that is quite literally not doing anything. If I do this quite right, you can see... yeah. Okay, well, we're just going to clip that out. I should have probably done that before. I don't think it's going to hurt the performance any, but I don't think it's even working as an air restrictor. I think it's just a lock to prevent you from putting anything weird down in here. Now we can try to see if we can get a seal on it. Still not really a good seal at all. Yeah, I am, even at the very end here, I'm able to rock this thing up and down. Oh! Oh! Oh no, it only seals right back here. Are you... I mean, maybe that's fixable, but you can very clearly see a lip in the plunger. I didn't actually notice that before. Well, crap, that would also explain the lack of performance. Huh, okay, I'm gonna try, not exactly always recommended, but I'm going to try the good old Teflon tape under the O-ring and see if that will still let me seal this thing up all the way. Just a little bit. Okay, that's a much better seal. It's still not perfect, but I think that's about the maximum of what we can do, because if I do anything more right there, it's gonna get too caught up in, I'm a little worried about that already, but let's lubricate it and see if that will give us a small boost in FPS. And the rest of this is just the indexing mechanism and everything. That is a disappointment, because that's why it doesn't hit as hard as the Chronos. I was kind of wondering about that. And of the bits and pieces that you'll have to put back in here, that whole trigger catch sear thing is going to go in like that. The Pro RX, if you're going to use this spring, you're going to have to cut out the inside of the plunger rod thing here, just a little bit, shave down this little plus thing so the spring can actually fit on there like so. And this section right there is going to push up like that. This section's going to be down, and then your actual catch mechanism here is going to fit in like that, and then fit into that little slot right there. So it's relatively easy to put back together. Slide's going to go on like that. This piece gonna kind of fit in like that. That's your, oh, that is your unjamming button. Okay, that makes a little more sense. And then it's pretty straightforward after that. Put it all back together. This little slide thing, I think this is just to prevent you from hurting your fingers or anything like that. It's another piece you'll probably want to put in on the slide first, but let's see here. Just like that. So it's going to fit in this track where the catch is, and then it's also going to fit on the back of this piece right there. Hopefully somebody makes a T-pull for this thing, because once you put a stronger spring in this, it's nearly impossible to prime. It's not comfortable, I'm going to tell you that much. But I still really like the
roundhouse your ass.
That is why I wanted to do this.
Rival Roundhouse Pro RX spring. See exactly how good this does. Hoping it's a little bit more accurate, but let's see what the range is like. Wasn't too bad. Hopefully I can prime it, because it's legitimately hard to prime. Oh, that went rather straight. They're still kind of curving downwards, though. That's still really good. Wow, there's no breeze at all right now. But compared to a lot of other blasters I've modified with the spring, this one honestly seems like it might be the most accurate. They're going completely straight most of the time. Well, there we go. That's what I was waiting for. The problem is, you really need some kind of T-pole grip. And we are out. That was rather impressive. The distances are way less than that of the takedown, but it's a bit more accurate, and hey, 16 rounds is better than 8, right? Maybe? I don't know.
So that is bar none the highest shot I got out of this thing after doing the whole little O-ring seal, and That's not bad. Most of them were still... what are you? You look important. You were probably important. But, I mean, that's not bad. As long as the blaster doesn't destroy itself, I'm still rather impressed with that. What I'm most impressed by is the accuracy, because this thing is rather accurate for a rival blaster, which is something that I've complained about a lot, and even with the spring modification, I'm quite impressed with how well this thing's working. So even though something like the takedown is easier to prime, probably gets way harder, I mean, I think I was hitting 160, 170 out of that with the same exact spring, the Roundhouse is still really cool to mod because you can actually probably hit something at long range. So is this blaster worth modifying? It's not very hard. It just doesn't have a lot of potential, I would say. This is pretty much capping it out because there's going to be no plunger tube replacement or anything. But if you wanted an accurate, big, huge, almost impossible to prime, this seriously needs like a T-pole or something in the future. This is definitely the blast for you. I really like the Roundhouse. If I can solve the priming issue, I will be much happier with it. But out of all the rival blasters I've taken a look at, the takedown and the Roundhouse have intrigued me the most. I'm quite happy with them. But of course, that doesn't matter. Let me know what you think about the modified NERF Rival Roundhouse down in the comment section below. And if you have any problems, well, let me know, because I can probably fix them, because I just did it on a video. So if you have issues like, I don't know where this thing goes, I might be able to help you with that one. But regardless, I'm Walcom S7. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you want to get your name on my workbench like all these lovely people like Count Hellstrom, Lachlan Moody, Godric, or Sparky, go ahead and check out the link in the description or in the card in the top right corner to head on over to my Patreon, where $5 a month or more gets your name right here. And of course, I hope to see you in an entirely different video.
Can't you see I'm blazing? Still my heart is blazing. If the words kill me,